Hello, hello everyone. It's Thursday, almost 5 o'clock, and as usual, I'm live. So today I have an amazing artist who will be joining me for a conversation to talk about what she's doing, how she's staying positive, and trying to take advantage of this slow time. So it's Catherine McMillan, and she is a Canadian artist. Hi everyone, currently living in Seattle, and she will be joining us today in the conversation. I hope you're doing great. It's a beautiful, gorgeous day in Toronto. It's sunny. I think it's like plus 21 outside. Gorgeous, beautiful. I spend my time like at least 3 or 4 hours today just on my balcony and enjoying this weather. So Catherine is with us, and I will add her to our conversation. I'm super excited to learn more about her. And thank you everyone who joined us. Hi, Catherine.
Hello, how's it going?
Everything's good. How are you?
I'm good. I heard you saying it's beautiful there in Toronto.
Yes. What
You're
about in
very
Seattle?
lucky. It's
How's the weather back at your
uh,
home? No?
today, you know what? It has been so beautiful. The spring in Seattle is so beautiful. Today hasn't been the best, but
Mm-hmm.
it's always like it's funny because back home, like I'm from Hamilton, so I know what weather is like there. And I find like if it's raining that day, it is raining that day. But here, it could be raining in the morning and then gorgeous in the afternoon. So it's totally just a mixed bag. You never really
Yes.
know what's gonna
Changing
happen.
all the time.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice because it doesn't stop you from doing anything. Like you could see rain in the forecast and you think, well, okay, it's gonna rain, but it'll also probably be sunny later. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
People are telling you, move back to Toronto.
I know. I kind of want to, but it's hard. It is really nice here.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I've
tell
come
us
to
why
like it.
you actually moved.
Pardon?
Why did you move?
My partner was offered a job, so it
Mm-hmm.
was totally for opportunity. Yeah.
And how do you see the art market in Canada and US? What's the difference and which one is better for you?
Better for me. I
Mm-hmm.
find, you know what? I found like when I first moved here, I found it pretty intimidating. Like, I don't know. I think it's just like a different world that I didn't know anybody. So it's kind of like I don't know, just coming in cold. Like you have no idea how to really break into anything. So
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of the situation for me. Now I'm part of a community. I've had a few opportunities here, which has been really nice. Um, I don't know, the caliber of artwork's the same. I'd say that the the art in Seattle generally, I find, and I don't know, I mean, I don't want to step on any toes by saying this, but it's a little more depressing. Like,
Really?
yeah, it's kind of like it's true. The grungy thing is kind of true. Like on the street, you see a lot of grungy kind of. It's all cool,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah. But caliber wise, I think it's the same. And Seattle has a wonderful art fair. We go to it every year, um, and you see stuff like basically the same as anywhere. So it's just stuff from all over the world. It's really cool. So
Absolutely. And you also come back to Toronto to do artist projects, correct?
I have been. It's funny. I did it once and then I was like, no, I'm not gonna come back. And then I ended up doing it again and then I did it again. And it's like, I don't know. So it's been fun though. I really love the artist project to be honest. Just the meeting, like even if you sell nothing,
Mm-hmm.
just the meeting of clients and meeting of the other artists is what I've loved so much. It's just such a supportive community. And I think it's really just such a great opportunity for artists to connect with each other. And I've connected with a lot of artists that way. And it's been wonderful.
Absolutely. And I first see your works at Artist Project, and I know that you can now show us how your donuts look like. So please
Oh, do you
show
want
us.
to see them right now?
Yeah.
Okay. My studio is a mess, but I do. So this is my wall. I don't even know how to change this. This is
Mm-hmm.
my studio wall. I'll turn the light on. Ugh. And this is kind of like the wall that I work with, where I'm just kind of like switching things, staging things. This is like what I have right now that is not commissioned.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my stuff that I've been working on lately is commissioned, so this is kind of like a picked over collection. But I also have some other examples here for you. I can show you though.
Mm-hmm.
So I have some that I just picked up from the studio that have not been glazed yet. I don't know if you can see this that well.
Beautiful.
Basically, you can see how they look so pastel-y. I don't know, the lighting is not the best.
If you turn around, it might be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't really get a full appreciation for them, I think, on camera, but basically they go through several stages of production and waiting and drying, and then this is the final stage that I just showed you, that I have to glaze it and then it gets fired again, and that's
Absolutely.
it.
And how people usually display them? Do they put them on the walls? Do they put them on a
Um,
plate?
No, everybody's different. It's really funny, actually. I get a lot of joy out of talking to people about what they will be doing with them, and the number of ideas I hear are so funny. Like, people are so different. I myself like to hang them on the wall, as you just saw. So I'll show you the back. This one is finished, and it's hollow inside. So they all, like, I poke a hole. They're all numbered by series, and then I put like little cork things on so you can like hang them nicely. And they just hang on like a light screw or nail, and they're, I don't know, they're pretty light, pretty durable. You don't
Is
want to
there a
drop them,
specific
but
way to take care of them?
no. Ceramics last forever, literally, unless
Beautiful.
you crush them. So they're really like, you can leave them in the sunlight and they won't fade like a painting will. Yeah, they're just as like, they'll collect dust if you let them, I guess. But there's really there's no like aftercare other than just loving them.
Absolutely. And I usually ask artists who create paintings, like, how do you price your works? And people do it like by square inch or something with ceramics. How do you come up with pricing?
So I say, so what I do is I actually do a full analysis. I look at, I'm kind of like a project-based type of person. So I have like X number of series of donuts, let's say. So if my donut series has like 100 donuts in it, I'll say, okay, how much does it cost me, time-wise, materials, everything all in? How much does it cost me to make these? And how much does it cost me to show them and sell them? And then from that, I divide it by the number of pieces, and I charge, the least amount that I can, but you got to pay yourself. You can't undersell, right? So
Absolutely.
so yeah, that's how I do it. And I think that that's the best way for me, at least, to do it. I'm kind of a fact-based, science-y person. So I think that, I don't know, because when I used to paint, I would also it's just so hard as an artist to price things, I think, because it's like a piece of your soul that you're basically exchanging for money, so it kind of hurts. And so for me in my paintings, I would ask myself, literally, for every piece, I'd say, how much, what price could I exchange this piece for without it hurting too much? And that's like, I know maybe it sounds like silly, but that's actually how I used to do it, because you have to feel good about your sales. You can't feel bad about them, or it's not worth doing.
Absolutely. And on your website, when you wrote your bio, you mentioned that you're a stencil artist.
Yeah, I am.
Tell us more about it.
You can see some of my work in the background, these two fish up here. So what I do with my stencil art is basically like, so it's basically like a street art technique that most artists use as a simple art form, where you can do the same image over and over again, where you just put your stencil up on a wall, spray it, and leave. So I kind of took it to the next step, a more fine art step, where I do like basically thousands of layers that I will cut out. And I'm really into realism, so I kind of like, I'll take a photo and I kind of just dissect it layer by layer, and I draw those layers, and then I cut those layers out, and then I paint them layer by layer using an airbrush. And so the end result is an image that looks like a photograph. That's my goal. It's always like trying to see how real I can get it without actually even touching the canvas with a brush. Like, I don't even own a paintbrush. Well, I do, but I like to say that anyway. And yeah, so it's kind of a challenge for me, and that's what I enjoy about it. I kind of like to take photos that have a lot of layers, that are complex, and I really enjoy kind of taking them apart and analyzing them and seeing color by color, and like asking myself questions like, what needs to be done to this to make it look more real? And I think that, I don't know, it's just what I get joy out of, I guess.
And you're a self-taught artist, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I've had a lot of really awesome influences. So I find the term self-taught kind of like, I didn't do it all myself, like I have mentors, and I have my own story, and I think every artist does. But yeah, in terms of formal education, there's no art there. I think I took a class in like the 10th grade, and it was great, but it's kind of nice though, because you in not knowing the rules, I think you make your own, and you think, oh, well, you're not supposed to do that. Well, I didn't know that. So, it is what it is, and you just kind of go with it, and you experiment on your own, and you arrive at your own results. You have no idea what you're not supposed to do, or what's okay in the art world. Like, you just don't know those things. So it kind of gives you a unique perspective.
For sure. And what are your influences? What artists you look at?
I have to say my favorite influence has been, I don't know if you know him, James Lahey in Toronto. He's just such a good realism artist. I don't know, his stuff is amazing. He does like macro photographic like paintings that are huge, of flowers, from anything from like flowers to flags, or he's just so awesome, and he's such a cool guy that I'm just so influenced by him, and like his own art collection is so cool, and I don't know. So there's one. I don't know who else, to be honest. Like I said, I have no education in art.
That's not a problem at all. And tell us more about your creative day, and has it changed due to COVID-19?
A lot. I basically stopped production completely for a whole month, because I'm a part of a community studio here, and that requires a lot of people to be in the same room at once. So I had to basically I glazed a bunch of donuts that I had already made at home for like a month, and I finally was lent a wheel by a dear friend that I have in my garage. So I've been now producing on that, which has been really good. But yeah, my creative day has completely changed, because I used to, get up and go and do it, and I used to have like a nice rhythm going, and then now it's like, I'll just sleep in, and I'll just basically do what I want. But it's kind of been nice, because I've been able to slow down and think about the things that I actually want to do, and the things that I've been doing that I love, and things that I've been doing that I don't love so much. And I think it kind of allows you to think about that stuff. Having to be forced stop production. It's kind of like a time to pause and think, I think.
Absolutely. And when you create your donuts, are you looking for like photographs of real donuts to get inspired, like how to decorate them?
You know what? I used to, but now it's more, to me, like, I don't think about flavors. I think about materials. I think of different kinds of clay bodies. Like, I think of different dyes. I think of colors, like how to get the perfect pink. Like, what should I mix? What percentage of, like red to white or whatever. And I kind of just like to experiment that way. Sometimes I'll get ideas like, I don't know, I've made a few pieces where I actually made plaster molds of coffee beans. So I wanted to put like some coffee beans on things. So I'll do stuff like that. But I think once you get that inspiration, it's like, okay, you can basically put anything on a donut. And as long as it looks somewhat like a donut, you're good to go. Like I'll even do things that aren't, to me, they don't look like flavors at all. They're like navy blue, and people will be like, I want the blueberry one. So it's like, and that's part of the fun, I think, is that everybody kind of they're open to their own interpretation. Like you can see one thing and I see another, and that's kind of the beauty of it. Because if I made you something that was like definitely raspberry, which sometimes I do, sure, it's just not as fun as, for me at least, when I get to hear what people are actually thinking about them. And like sometimes I'll do black icing and people think it's dark chocolate. Like, I don't know. I'm just kind of having fun with the textures, and I kind of like to know the things that we look at and make something look real. Like, what are those subtle things that people are identifying with? Is it a drip? Is it a texture? Is it the confluence of sprinkles? Like, who knows? So
Absolutely.
it's all kind of just an experiment to me, and half of the experiment to me is seeing how they are received.
So you do shows and promote your art there, but what other ways do you do to market your art?
I don't know, like Instagram, I guess. I don't do much, to be honest, because I think that the joy in it for me is actually having that interaction with clients. So I mean, while online selling can be okay, and like if you do that, more power to you, it's not really my focus, because I don't get as much joy from it. Like, I'm happy to sell online if people ask me to, but it's not my focus. My focus is to make like giant walls, find these places that I can do this and put them up, and then here's what I did, what I wanted to do. I didn't do it for anybody else. If you want it, let's talk. But as far as marketing goes, like, I'm not a marketer. I just kind of do what I want. And then finding those places to put them up just happen to be good marketing avenues, I guess. But I actually don't put any thought or effort really into marketing, other than I like to share my work. But yeah, going out of my way to do that, it's just, maybe that's bad. I don't know.
And are you represented by any gallery in Canada or US?
I was represented by a gallery in Seattle for a little bit, where I did like a 2-month show, and I think my work might be on their website still. It's called the Suzanne Czar Gallery. But no, other than that, no.
So do you find working on your own, going to art shows is better for you?
I think, I mean, I guess we would have to define better. So I think that, like, if it depends what your success is. Like, for me, success is getting to exhibit something that I had a vision to do. And I do find that doing like an art fair where it's like an independent artist kind of situation, that kind of is, because I get this booth that, I paid for it, it's fine. And I can do whatever I want with it. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, because like I said, I'm kind of project based. So I think, well, I did this huge donut wall, what do I want to do next? Like, yeah, I'm still making some donuts, but do I want to do something else? Maybe. So I kind of just like the freedom of doing what I want and kind of just bringing my visions to life, I guess, rather than focusing on volume, selling. Like, art is a career. It's kind of new to me, so I'm not sure what's better, to be honest.
Whatever is good for you personally. Whatever you feel joy in is
Yeah.
whatever you need to do.
Yeah, and I always try to follow that. I try not to compromise. I don't like to make things to sell them. I don't like to make things that I know people are going to buy. I don't think that way. I try to think in that, I want to make what I want to make. I want to imagine, like, if I could do anything right now, if I had everything I needed to do this thing, what would that thing be?
Mm-hmm.
And those are the types of projects that I guess I'm interested in. And then I kind of think of, where can I show this after I think of that idea? And so, if a gallery wanted to show something like that, of course I'd be open to it. But it just so happens to this point that what I've wanted to show, the easiest way for me to do that has been art fairs.
Beautiful. And how you're trying to stay positive and creative during this time?
Um, I think being kind to yourself is so important during a
Mm-hmm.
time like this. I think that we live in a culture where basically time not spent being productive is considered a waste of time. And I disagree with that. So I think that taking the time to, go walking every day, go enjoy things, ask yourself the question, like, what can I do today that's going to make me feel successful? Because productivity isn't success. It shouldn't be the only metric of success. I think that, I don't know, I mean, as terrible as this pandemic is, it kind of gives people the opportunity to think about that and challenge that idea,
Mm-hmm.
because even if you want to be super productive, you can't be. And so what are you going to do? You have to do something with that time. And so you kind of have to forgive yourself for taking a nap or whatever. Like, you just have to kind of go with it and take it as it comes. And I mean, for me, I'm very introverted, so it's it's kind of nice for me to have, like, I guess, an excuse not to do
Mm-hmm.
anything, not to go out. I don't even have to say no. I can just go, oh, I can't, it's a pandemic. And so, I mean, I've kind of taken advantage of that, and it's been freeing almost for me. And staying creative, I don't know. I think doing ceramics kind of keeps you engaged in that
Mm-hmm.
everything's time dependent. So, like, if I decide one day to make a donut on the wheel, I then am also making the decision to trim that donut and in the next couple of days, and then decorate that donut in the next couple of days, and then later down the road, like weeks away, glaze that donut. So for me, it's always just, as long as you've got something on the go, you've always got something to do and you'll never be bored. And I think that's for me, like, I'm afraid of being bored. So I like to have like millions of projects on the go. I always do. And that's kind of just how I operate. So if I don't feel like doing one thing one day, I can do another thing
Mm-hmm.
that I have on the go. And it's already started. It's easier for me to start things than finish things, I guess. Um, and maybe people that are in that position kind of are doing better at staying busy and creative during this time, because it's like, well, I already had all these ideas a long time ago. Now I'm just kind of moving them along.
Yes, now we have time to do that.
Yeah, and it's kind of been nice. That's
Beautiful. So, Catherine, thank you very much for joining my IG live
Oh,
today.
you're welcome. Thank you for inviting
Yeah,
me.
I really enjoyed our chat.
Me
Stay
too.
safe, stay well,
You too.
and looking forward to seeing you back in Toronto for Artist Project or any
Me
other
too.
show.
Me too. Please come and say hi. I hope to do it as long as
Yes,
it's
I will.
gonna happen.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye bye.
Bye.
So I want to thank Catherine again for our amazing conversation. It's the first ceramic artist I interviewed for this IG Live, and I hope you enjoyed it. I will be saving it so you will be able to watch it from the beginning if you missed it. And again, next Thursday, I will be live again with one of the amazing artists. I'm not going to tell you now who that person is, but I'm trying my best to get different people from different experiences, with different experiences from different countries, to give you more insight look into how people are staying creative, staying positive, what they're doing right now, how they're using this slow time to still create something. As Catherine mentioned, that right now we have this time, and we used to have a lot of projects that we had no time to do, and now we have this time. So stay positive, stay creative, enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy your weekends to come. I hope your where you are right now, the weather is good and will be good during the weekend. If you have any questions, if you would like actually to be on my IG live, let me know, direct message me. So I would like to chat with you and learn more about your practice and how you are staying positive and creative. Bye, everyone.